Look, if you've ever tried wading through the health product aisle, you know how overwhelming it gets. The dietary supplement market is just this dizzying, minefield. Bright labels, huge claims. And the question we all end up asking is pretty simple. Which ones actually work, backed by science, and which are, well, basically snake oil?
That's exactly the right way to put it. We've dug into transcripts here, looking at the scientific literature, what nutritionists recommend based on clinical experience, long-term research too. The idea is to structure a guide that actually cuts through all that marketing noise for you.
Yeah, precision is the goal today. We want to give you a structured guide to supplements that genuinely work. So who needs them, what for specifically, and really importantly, what are the science-backed ways to take them? Dosages and all that.
Right. And we're going to build this up logically. We'll kick off with the foundational stuff, micronutrients you might need just to fill gaps in your diet. Then we'll move into the more established performance enhancers, like creatine, and finish up with some really specialized remedies, things for, say, hormone balance or specific clinical issues.
Okay, sounds like a plan. Let's start at the foundation then. Multivitamins, MVs, these are everywhere. They're a mix, right? Vitamins, minerals?
Yeah, various vitamins, minerals, sometimes other bits. There's no single fixed recipe, but most tend to follow guidelines like the reference nutrient intakes, or RNI. The aim is usually to prevent outright deficiency, covering the needs of most people.
And these are micronutrients, right? Just be clear. We need them in tiny amounts, milligrams, micrograms.
Versus macronutrients, protein, fat, carbs, which we need in much larger quantities, grams. Your standard MV tries to hit around 100% of the RNI for the common essential vitamins and minerals.
Okay, but here's the big question, the one everyone asks. If I eat pretty well, a balanced diet, enough calories, no major food groups cut out, do I actually need one?
Honestly, if your diet is genuinely balanced and varied like that, the short answer is probably no. You should be getting what you need from food. But that's the ideal, isn't it? Real-world data, especially looking at places like the US and UK, shows that common deficiencies are, well, common. We see issues with iron, zinc, calcium, B12, and vitamin D is a huge one.
Oh, okay, so the MV is more like a safety valve then, like a nutritional insurance policy.
Exactly. That's a great way to think about it. It becomes really useful if you fall into a few key groups. One, restrictive diets. Vegans, for example, often need to watch B12, iron, zinc because they skip animal products, which are super dense in those.
Right. Or someone avoiding dairy might miss out on calcium.
Calcium and iodine often. Two, if you're on a long-term, pretty strict calorie-restricted diet, think physique competitors cutting weight, and MV helps guard against nutrient gaps. And three, if you just happen to be in a group known to have higher rates of those common deficiencies we mentioned.
You mentioned vitamin D is a huge one.
Yeah.
Let's circle back to that because it sounds like a major exception to the get it from food rule.
It absolutely is. It's really hard to get enough vitamin D from common foods alone. Our main source is supposed to be sunshine on our skin. And let's face it, most people, particularly in places like the UK or northern US states, just don't get enough sun exposure year-round. So supplementing D is generally a good idea for almost everyone.
I'm looking at some dosage numbers here in our sources.
Yeah.
10,000, even up to 50,000 IUs daily. That sounds like a lot. Why such high doses? And what's D3 really doing besides helping bones?
Yeah, the doses can seem high. Sometimes it's needed because absorption isn't great, or we're trying to really leverage its other powerful effects beyond bone health.
Vitamin D3 is a potent anti-inflammatory. That's huge. It helps regulate the immune system, especially if it's overactive, which makes it useful in certain autoimmune conditions. Also helpful for inflammatory skin problems like dermatitis, even things like depression or specific eye issues, glaucoma, for instance.
Wow, okay. That's much more than just bones. But this connects to something else you mentioned, nutrients working together.
Yes, this is critical. Vitamin D doesn't work in isolation. This may be our first big point about cofactors. For D3 to be used properly by your body, it absolutely needs magnesium, zinc, and vitamin K2. If you're low in magnesium, for example, you could take tons of vitamin D and not get the full benefit.
That's a really key insight. A supplement might fail not because it's bad, but because you're missing a crucial helper nutrient. Before we move off foundations, what about those bulky minerals? Calcium, magnesium? You won't get the full RNI in a standard multi. No, you won't. They're just too big physically. The RNI for calcium is like 800 to 1,000 milligrams, magnesium around 300 milligrams. Try packing all that plus all the other vitamins into 1 or 2 capsules. You'd end up with a pill the size of a golf ball. So yeah, if you know you need more calcium or magnesium, or you track your diet and see a shortfall, definitely take those as separate supplements.
Okay, that makes sense. Let's shift gears now from foundational health to performance and body composition. For people serious about the gym, building muscle, getting stronger, what consistently works?
Right, performance. First, always keep perspective. Your genetics, how consistently you train, your overall diet, that's like 95% of the results. Supplements are the final few percent. But whey protein is a classic for a reason. It's mainly about convenience. It's just an efficient way to help you hit your total daily protein target.
Which for lifters can be pretty high, right? Like 0.7 to 1 gram per pound of body weight.
Exactly. Hitting that consistently from food alone can be tough, or just a lot of eating. Whey makes it easier.
And is just mixing it with water the best way? Our sources hinted at maybe optimizing the mix.
Good point. Whey digests fast, spikes muscle protein synthesis, which is great, but combining it with casein, which digests slowly, seems to be even better. Casein helps limit muscle breakdown, keeping you in an anabolic state for longer. So mixing your whey with milk, which naturally contains casein, instead of just water, that's often a smarter move, even right after your workout.
Good tip. And quickly, safety, because you always hear those myths about protein wrecking your kidneys or liver.
Yeah, that's mostly myth for healthy people. My search is pretty clear. Whey protein doesn't harm your liver or kidneys unless you already have damage there. And bone health. If you're getting enough calcium and vitamin D, higher protein intake might actually help bone density, not hurt it.
Okay, myth busted. Next up, creatine. Probably the most studied sports supplement ever.
Oh, absolutely. Hundreds, maybe thousands of studies. It's the real deal for improving strength and power. It works by helping your muscles regenerate ATC adenosine triphosphate faster. That's your body's main energy fuel for short, intense bursts of effort. More ATP means you can maybe squeeze out an extra rep or lift a bit heavier.
And what about the look? People worry about looking bloated or watery from creatine.
That's a common misunderstanding. Creatine pulls water into the muscle cell itself. It's osmosis. This actually makes the muscles look fuller, harder, tighter. It's not the soft, puffy look under the skin that people sometimes worry about.
Dosing seems refreshingly simple, too. Just 3 to 5 grams a day, anytime, no loading phases, no cycling off.
Exactly. Super simple. Take it after training, with breakfast, whenever's convenient. Consistency is key. No need to load with high doses initially, and no real need to cycle off it like you might with, say, caffeine.
But there's a catch, isn't there? Some people just don't respond to it.
Unfortunately, yes. Estimates vary, but maybe up to 30% of people are non-responders. It's often folks who already eat a lot of dietary creatine-heavy red meat eaters, for instance. Or sometimes older individuals might respond less robustly. A good sign it is working for you. Often you'll see a small jump in body weight after a few weeks, maybe 2 to 5 pounds. That's the extra water inside the muscles.
Yeah, good to know. Let's talk about caffeine next. Everyone knows it, uses it, but maybe not strategically for performance.
Right. It's a powerful central nervous system stimulant. It definitely increases power output, helps you grind out more reps or sets, and crucially, it masks fatigue. There was this really interesting study back in 2012 on rugby players. They were sleep deprived, performance was down, but give them about 4 milligrams of caffeine per kilogram of body weight.
Yeah.
It essentially wiped out the performance drop caused by the lack of sleep. Pretty amazing.
That is amazing. And it burns a few extra calories too, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. A decent dose, maybe 300 milligrams or so, might increase your daily energy expenditure by about 50 calories. Not massive, but hey, it adds up if you use it consistently. The big issue with caffeine, though, is tolerance. Your body gets used to it really quickly.
How quickly? And what does that mean practically? Just take more?
It builds fast, sometimes within days or weeks, and once you're tolerant, just taking more doesn't really bring back that initial kick. It's been called an insurmountable tolerance in some research. You hit a ceiling.
So how do you manage that if you want to keep getting the performance benefit?
You have to cycle off it periodically, take a break. Recommendations vary, but maybe 3 to 7 days completely off caffeine every, say, 1 to 2 months seems to work well for resensitizing yourself.
Okay. And safety-wise, dosing.
Keep total daily intake under about 500 milligrams generally. That pre-training dose of 4 milligrams per kilogram body weight is a good guideline. And just for context, a single tablespoon of pure caffeine powder is lethal, so always handle concentrated sources with extreme care.
Good warning. Is there anything that works well with caffeine, enhances its effects?
Yes, L-theanine is a great partner. It's an amino acid found in tea. Research shows it seems to enhance the focus and alertness effects of caffeine, but potentially smooths out some of the jitters. It might even help counteract some of caffeine's negative impact on sleep quality, which is a nice bonus.
Interesting synergy. Okay, our last performance booster. L-citrulline malate, known for The pump. What's going on there?
Right, the pump. So L-citrulline gets converted in your kidneys to arginine. Arginine then boosts nitric oxide production, and nitric oxide relaxes blood vessels' vasodilation, that's the pump, increased blood flow to the muscles. The key thing is, taking citrulline leads to higher and more sustained arginine levels in your blood than taking arginine itself. Plus, you avoid the digestive upset that high doses of arginine can cause.
It's a better than arginine for the pump, but is that all it does? Is it just a vanity thing?
No, not at all. This is where it gets really interesting from a performance standpoint. A key study in 2010 found L-citrulline malate significantly increased the number of reps people could do on the bench press, especially later in the workout when fatigue sets in. And maybe even more importantly, it dramatically reduced muscle soreness 24 and 48 hours after the workout.
How does it do that? Reduce soreness.
It seems to help buffer or clear out metabolic waste products that build up during intense exercise, things like lactate and ammonia, which contribute to fatigue and soreness.
Wow. Okay, so it's a performance and recovery aid, not just a pump product. What's the dose?
The effective dose seems to be in the range of 4 to 10 grams, taken about an hour before you train.
All right, fascinating stuff on performance. Now let's move into that third category. Highly targeted, sometimes condition-specific remedies. This feels like where supplements get really specialized.
Yeah, moving beyond general health or gym performance into optimizing specific systems or addressing particular issues. Let's start with hormone support. If you're looking for broad, sort of foundational hormone support, ashwagandha is a standout. It's an adaptogen, really potent at lowering cortisol, the stress hormone. By lowering cortisol, it indirectly helps boost testosterone. Plus, it's great for just reducing general stress and anxiety, improving mood.
Okay, that's broad support.
Yeah.
What about things that target hormone pathways more directly, like Tongkat Ali?
Right. Tongkat Ali is interesting. Taking around 200 to 600 milligrams a day seems to work mainly by increasing free testosterone. It does this by lowering sex hormone binding globulin, or SHBG. SHBG normally binds to testosterone, making it inactive. Tongkat Ali reduces SHBG, so more of your existing testosterone is free and available to do its job.
And the results can be significant.
Anecdotally, yes. Some sources cite pretty dramatic increases in free and even total testosterone. Unlike some other direct hormone modulators, it doesn't seem to require cycling off.
Okay, let's shift to the brain. Cognitive enhancement. Focus. If someone wants that mental edge, but maybe without the jitters of caffeine.
Yeah, there are non-stimulant approaches that work on neurotransmitter pathways. Alpha-GPC is a good one. It's a source of choline. Taken at 300 to 600 milligrams, it boosts the acetylcholine pathway, which is crucial for focus and cognitive function. It has a half-life of about 4 to 6 hours. L-tyrosine is another. It's an amino acid, a precursor to dopamine. Taking 500 to 1,000 milligrams can also enhance focus and mental drive.
And of course, we can't talk brain health without mentioning omega-3s.
Absolutely essential, specifically focusing on getting enough EPA, that's eicosapentaenoic acid. Doses of 1 to 3 grams of EPA per day are linked to numerous benefits. Beyond just general brain and body health, high EPA is really good for metabolic function, can significantly improve cognitive abilities, and there's strong evidence for its role in helping with depression and boosting mood.
Got it. Okay, let's wrap up with just a few really key, maybe more clinical remedies, things that address specific symptoms or deficiencies, and let's try to tie back to that cofactor idea again.
Okay, let's revisit magnesium, but specifically magnesium glycinate. This form is well absorbed and gentle on the stomach. We know it helps sleep, lowers cortisol, prevents muscle cramps, but clinically, it's vital for heart rhythm issues like atrial fibrillation, preventing those irregular heartbeats. It's also crucial for preventing certain types of kidney stones.
And connecting that cofactor theme. Magnesium works with other vitamins, right?
Yes. Let's take vitamin B1, thiamine. It's often used for things like nervous tension, anxiety, even restless leg syndrome. But here's the connection. Vitamin B1 needs magnesium to be converted into its active form in the body. So if you're low on magnesium, supplementing B1 might not give you the full benefits you're looking for. Another cofactor dependency.
Fascinating. Okay, two more quick targeted ones. Coenzyme Q10.
CoQ10. This is absolutely essential, non-negotiable really, for anyone taking statin medications for cholesterol. Statins work by blocking an enzyme pathway involved in making cholesterol. But that same pathway is also used to make CoQ10. CoQ10 is vital for energy production in our cells, especially heart muscle cells. So statins deplete your body's CoQ10. Supplementing it helps prevent potential side effects like muscle pain and fatigue, and supports heart health.
Critical info for anyone on statins. And lastly, a quick mention for digestive issues, specifically stomach problems.
Yeah, two common scenarios. First, Heartburn or indigestion that's actually caused by low stomach acid, which is surprisingly common, more so than too much acid. Betaine HCl, that's hydrochloric acid, can help restore proper acidity for digestion. Second, for actual stomach ulcers or gastritis, inflammation of the stomach lining, zinc carnosine is consistently highlighted as probably the best supplement for promoting healing of the mucosal lining.
Wow, okay. We've covered a lot of ground, from foundational multivitamins to very specific clinical tools. So pulling it all together, what's the main takeaway from this deep dive?
I think it circles back to what we said at the start. Supplements are a small piece of the puzzle, a strategic piece, but small. Genetics, your training, your overall nutrition, those are the big rocks. Supplements are secondary. They work best when used smartly, either to fill a specific documented nutritional gap, like the MV as a safety net, or targeted vitamin D, or to enhance a specific measurable aspect of performance, like using creatine for strength. Knowing why you're taking something and the right dose is absolutely key.
Right, knowledge is power here. And that leads nicely into the final thought, something that really stood out as we went through all this material, that theme of interconnectedness. We saw it clearly with vitamin D needing magnesium and K2. We saw it again with vitamin B1 needing magnesium. We saw it with statins impacting CoQ10 production.
Exactly, and it raises a really provocative question, doesn't it? When a supplement doesn't seem to work for someone, is it always the supplement's fault? Or could it be that the person is lacking a crucial cofactor needed for that supplement to even do its job properly? If vitamin D needs K2 and you're low on K2, the D isn't going to perform miracles. It really suggests that our body's nutritional needs are far more complex and interdependent than we often treat them. Understanding those connections might be the real secret to making supplements work effectively.
Thank you for listening. Stay tuned for more health podcasts.